I would call this as second iteration. Another word, I will call it as third iteration. Maybe the next one is fourth iteration. Now, can I say that in iteration, are we picking up the priorities? Do you agree? We listed the items in an order now. So that means we understand the priorities of the project, correct? That's a simple fundamental stuff, guys. So in the first iteration, right, we did not do the second one. Imagine the use case there. In the first iteration, I did not do the second one because second one may not be the priority for the first iteration. You got it? So that is how things will happen. They plan, they do it. So this is how. Now let's say plan, design, code, test, release, deploy, and monitor. So this is what they are doing. So that means at the end of the first iteration, can I see the visibility of an application here? Tell me, guys. At least some part of the application. Some part. Like imagine a use case of same house construction. Let's say I told the people to complete their first iteration. In the first iteration, maybe they've done the foundation work and maybe they have done some pillar work, right? That means I can see the visibility of my little. So we have to agree that entire application may not be visible. That is true. But again, we have to agree that some part of the application is getting visibility there, active, or you can say it is getting activated. So likewise, in the next iteration, partly, they'll pick up some other modules and add it. In the third iteration, they'll pick up some stuff, they add it. Like fourth iteration, they pick up some stuff and they add it. So that's the reason in the agile, we call that we implement the principle of incremental development. I hope you understood this meaning now. Do you agree with this simple English, guys? Is it an increment? Is it an incremental development? Right? We are not trying to bombard all the stuff in a single go. Correct? So we are trying to handle piece by piece, or you can say part by part, and entirely it is incremental development. So that means we are trying to follow the iteration. Maybe some 50 loops you need to repeat, or 10 loops or 20 loops, it's okay. But the point is you have to repeat this iteration process until all the items of the project are completed. Then only we can say that project is done. Got it? So done word itself became very popular in IT from the agile only. So agile says that they introduced a word called done. So you should apply the word done when you worked on particular module and there is no margin for error there. Error is equal to 0. Then only we can say it is done. Error percentage should be ground 0. So this is one classification emerged, guys. So we keep on here. See, the people who work in IT industry, they will be very familiar with this word. They say keep on saying done, done, done. So this done word is itself has been become very popular from the agile. So agile says that you should mark your item as done only when entire module is done. I mean to say completed, if you talk in other way, and the chance for error is 0%. That means entire activities are finished. Maybe later tomorrow, day after tomorrow, somebody may point out some, let's say something is not working. So that will go as a support ticket and we'll start working on fixing it. That is secondary. But at the time of development, it is finished as per the expectation. Right? Got it? So that is what I'm telling you. So today it is working. Imagine. And maybe after 10 days, it is not working. Now you will wait till 10 days and say it is done. This is an interesting question, guys. Do you wait till 10 days till it is done? This is very, very important point. This was one of the questions you'll face when you go as a team leads or Scrum Master role, manager role. You develop your application. I'll tell one use case. Okay. And you release that into the market. Don't you think at least you'll have one person in the world who have a trouble? You getting the point what I'm talking, guys? So this is super interesting. So you release the application, you do whatever, 99.9%. We say that it is fixed, all the problems are fixed. But at least at any given day, you'll find one or two users who always have trouble with our application, right? So that's the reason we cannot say that done should be applied for every customer. So done is a word that is applied at module level and the expectation. Am I clear, guys? So what you designed, what you planned, as per planning it is working or not, that is defines your done. If it is working as per your expectation, as per my plan, then that is done. You got it? But once it goes into the market, if something is not working, right? So that can be a special use case and that will come as a backlog, or you can say feature enhancement, and will work later again to make that trouble fix. Clear, Prasanna? Got it what I'm talking? So in your plan or in your design part, whatever you fix that we are going to do this, and if you're able to fulfill that, then we say it is done. After goes into the market, that is again altogether different story. So whatever activities that come out as an error or something where compatibility issues, that will go as an feature enhancements. Okay. Now the question comes is, I hope you understood the iteration. So this is the reason it is called iteration process. We keep on repeating the stuff until the things are done. Now the logical question here is, how much time should we take to complete an iteration? This is what the another point to understand from the agile. How much time do you think you want unlimited time? You want to take 15 days? You want to take 1 month? You want to take 6 months? You want to take 7 days? Or you want to take 10 days? Or you want to take 3 months? So these are all use cases, guys. So all your answers are correct. See, some people are reporting telling it is 2 weeks. Some people are saying 3 weeks, right? But if you go by the agile stuff, so Agile Foundations has basically given 3 suggestions. They're never stringent on this. They have given entire thing is advisory only. It's up to you whether to follow it or not. So Agile Foundations has given 3 ways for us, or 3 methods, you can say, 3 types, or you can say types. So they said you can try 1 week model. Okay, you can try 1 week model. They said you can try 2 weeks model. And they said you can try 4 weeks model. Okay. Again, you need to keep in mind that this is all advisory. What do you mean by advisory? Advisory nature. That means what suits for you, you can select the best. And they also say that you can customize according to your will and wish. You can customize. It's up to you. Even you can follow an iteration for 5 days, or let's say 7 days, or a 10 days, or 12 days. It's up to you. Now, initially, when the Agile gave this recommendation, a lot of companies have tried out 1 week model. 1 week model they tried out, guys. A lot of companies have tried out. This was most popular choice till 2006 roughly. A lot of companies tried 1 sprint 2006, and most of the companies gave a review saying that this 1 week model is not working. In this 1 week, you'll have 5 working days, and this you'll have 10 working days. And how many for 4 weeks, guys? 20 working days, correct? Right. So in 2006, an international review happened upon 1 week model. So a lot of companies said that, this seems to be not working. The reason is they took some items in the sprint. So whatever the iteration, or they took some items in that iteration, and in that iteration, they could not finish a lot of activities. So the companies gave review saying that they are not satisfied with the time factor, 1 week model. You got it? Then what happened? A lot of companies tried out this method, this one, 2 weeks model. Sorry, this 4 weeks model. So again, the review seems to be looking like this. They said that, so we are able to finish all the tasks in the iteration. That is good. We are able to do it. But again, the concern is we are some left out with some idle time. That means resource utilization is not great. That means, let's say in 20 days, they are able to finish off the work in 16 to 17 days, whatever items they took. And the guys are sitting idle for 3 to 4 days. So this, they are not satisfied again. That means they are okay with the work, but resource utilization perspective, it is not fitting for their purpose. Then most of the companies switched to 2 weeks model around 2008, guys. This was a year when a lot of companies switched to 2 weeks model. Okay. And a lot of companies are satisfied with this proposal. So in the 2 weeks model, what happened is we'll take some items and we work for 2 weeks. That is roughly 10 working days, right? And whatever the items they finished, they're happy. And whatever left out, they will move to the next sprint or next iteration. You got it? So this seems to be satisfied a lot of. It is not like not great or not bad. You getting? So this got a credit rating of good, you can say. Understood, guys, what I'm talking? Not bad, not good. Okay, every company, most of the companies are satisfied. So that's the reason in Agile, the companies which follow, you will not believe, this is a data it is telling. The companies who follow the agile methodologies or agile principles in their companies, in their projects, they keep the iteration success rate to be at 90%. They want the iteration to be succeed at 90%. What do you mean by this? Any clue, guys? What do you mean by this 90%? That means in an iteration, let's say you picked up 10 items, they want 90% of the work to be completed. That's a principle. They said not less than 90. You got it? Not less than 90. Iteration principle, standard principle is 90, guys. So if the companies are doing 50%, 60%, 70%, they are underperforming companies. Technically, they will never able to reach their destination in time. All are underperforming. So what you can say is it's a very fact that has been seen in IT that any company which believes in iteration strategy, your team leads who will drive the 90% of the work to be finished. So out of 10, 9 has to be finished. One left out, that's okay. That can be done in the next iteration. Clear? You understood, guys, what I am talking? So what we are following today? So keep in mind, so this is the one where most of the companies of the world are following this principle. 80%. 80% of the companies are following this principle. Here and there, you'll find some companies which follow 1 week model. Any company which will follow 1 week model, you'll see that they will work for 6 working days. You observe in the market. Any company which tries to do the iteration for a week, instead of working 5 days, they'll work for 6 days. That's an observation from the market, guys, because they want more time to finish off the activities. Got it now? So again, keep in mind this on entirely it is an advisory concept stuff. So most of companies are following 80% like 2 weeks model, and still you can customize. It's up to you. What fits for your business, you can take it. The project team will decide. So instead of 2 weeks model, they can go with 3 weeks also. It's up to them. They can go with 6 weeks also. So that is a stuff of iteration, guys. In the iteration process, we all decide about how much time we are, how much activity or how much work we have to finish in iteration. For example, I'll show you my iteration in my project so that you'll understand what I'm talking. Now, what is a sprint stuff? So we'll talk about this sometime. So what is a sprint word? So this sprint word, Agile has given something called Agile ceremonies, guys. Ceremonies. We'll talk about this shortly. I'll tell you one ceremonies of human life so that you'll catch. First of all, please make a note of this data quickly. Quickly, guys. Right, Agile iteration can be experimented with 3 types. So 1 week model, 2 weeks model, or 4 weeks model, and the last one is customized. It's up to them, company. So mostly follow the 2 weeks model. Can I clear the screen? Please confirm, guys. Can I clear? I just got a request from Amar saying 1 minute. How about others? Okay, it's good. Fine. Let me clear. Now, Agile has given some ceremonies, which we'll talk tomorrow. We don't have enough time now. Okay, we'll talk about this concept tomorrow. So they given some activities that we have to do at so and so time. Like we have life ceremonies also. You tell me, guys, some crazy. These are all crazy examples. I know. So what are life ceremonies? What are life ceremonies, guys? So let's say mother, right, becomes pregnant. So I'm just talking fairly so that you know the facts of life. From they'll do some feast for that pregnancy. From their, let's say, birth, right? That is one activity. After that, they name it. There's also one ceremony, right? Namkaran, we call it. Thereafter, they'll join the kid, some school stuff, some activities there now. Okay, there in between there is some, the boy, they'll do something called some feast about food, right? He starts eating the food, that also becomes a feast. Joining the school also becomes a ceremony, right? Right, lot of ceremonies are there in our life. So we do we do all this in one day? Tell me, guys, do we do all this in one day? No. When situation demands, when the time comes, we do, right? So marriage is also part of your ceremony. At the end, we end up with a death, right? Death is also a ceremony, guys. So in total, there are roughly around 16, I'm guessing, 16 life ceremonies will be there in entire human life. So we don't do all these activities in single go, right? So we do based on event, right? Demand. Now, likewise, exactly, Agile ceremonies has given saying we have something called sprint planning. We'll talk about all these things tomorrow. Sprint planning, we have sprint grooming, we have that daily scrum call, we have something called sprint retrospective, we have something called touch base, we have something called, what is this, guys? Demo, right? So a lot of activities are there. Now the question comes is, what is the sprint here? Sprint is nothing but time. Sprint is nothing but work done per time. That's it. So it is a word which defines that work done per time. So people also give the alternate name. So instead of saying first iteration, they call this as first sprint. Instead of saying as second iteration, you can call this as second sprint. You getting? These are all alias names. Third iteration, we call it as third sprint. Correct? Fine, guys. So now the question comes is, let me show you how the sprint look like. In the each sprint or each iteration, we'll decide about a few items and we start working on them. Okay, so let's see the iteration. You can see on the screen, guys. Do you see this? What I'm talking here? First of all, whatever I rounded up, do you see that green color here? You need to focus here. This is my sprint board, right? So you can see the sprint started on December 14th and it will end on December 27th. So roughly I have more 5 working days. And in this sprint, lot of work is there in my team. You see, these are all activities we have to handle. We listed out all the items that we need to do. See how many items are there. Lot of work is there, which never ends. 258 items are there. Some are still new. That means they did not even start. Some are in progress, right? Some are done. That means finished. You see, this activity is done. You can take it, say done. Some are new. Some are in progress. Got it now? This is what I'm talking about this. Clear? So that's about the iteration process. Iteration is all about picking up some items and we go through the each sprint or each iteration and finish up all the activities of the project. Good. I hope you understood the iteration, guys. Correct? Arpan, Khadri, Divya, Gopal. So iteration is super important. So if your time permits, try to spend some time on Googling what is this iteration, try to get more gnan on it, or you can say try to grasp more knowledge upon it. That always benefits you. Now let's move on. Since you understood the iteration, now let's jump in. We'll try to do the, what you can say, the sprint ceremonies. We have enough time to finish this off. Let's do it. Please write this in your books, guys. This is not there in your notes. This is apart from your syllabus, which will help you to understand. 15 minutes, we can finish it off. So what happens is, let's say your company is following, let's say 2 weeks model. 2 weeks model. Or people also call as 15 days, but generally it is 2 weeks model only. So in this 2 weeks model, you'll have 10 working days. That's it. Now, on the first day of this sprint, on the first day, okay, they will have something called sprint planning. They will have something called sprint planning, guys. So in this, what happens is entire team will sit for discussion and they will talk about what items they have to work on. And they will distribute the items to the team. You got it? So whatever the items they have in their bin, they will discuss about it, what needs to be done. And let's say based on the skill set of the candidate, they will transfer the ticket into their bin. Got it now? So let's say if a DB engineer is there, he gets the DB tickets. Let's say DevOps is there, he gets the DevOps tickets. Let's say he's a network engineer, gets the network tickets. So based on skill set, your items are distributed. So that is what happens in sprint planning. And this planning, according to the agile, it should not exceed not more than minimum, it should be 2 hours and maximum it should be 3 hours. That's it. Got it now? So why they are dragging me here? 1 second. What happened? This is not going. Maybe some issue here. So we'll see that later. Okay, so let's jump back here. So sprint planning sure is done on the day one, and whatever the item that you are going to do for your sprint, that will be discussed and distributed. So it is 2 to 3 hours. Correct? The next second day, guys, very interesting. On the second day, so after the meeting happens on the first day, and on the second day of the sprint or second day of the work, you can say you'll have something called sprint grooming. Now, once the items are given to you, I repeat, once the items are distributed on the day one, you have almost like 8 business hours with you, or I would say at least 4 business hours with you to look into your tickets and understand what you can do and what you cannot. Do you agree? Tell me, guys. See, once the work is distributed to you, the ticket comes to your bin, and definitely you will have to have a look on it. And definitely you have clarity what you can do, and you will have clarity on what you don't know, right? So that is the reason to have the sprint grooming. In the sprint grooming, it's a discussion to discuss about the items which are not clear, which you require a knowledge to do, or it's something like a kind of a grooming. That's the reason it is called grooming. So here what happens is you have to inform your lead, right? So about the items which you are unsure. Unsure means you don't know how to handle it. Unsure. So such items will be discussed here. And the person who has, because entire team sits, guys, here in the grooming, generally entire team will participate, and whoever has the knowledge, they will try to help you or try to share the at least thought. They will try to share the knowledge with you. So that is what happens in the sprint grooming. So it's all about knowledge sharing, guys, about the items that you do. And on 5th or a 6th day, generally or on 5th or a 6th day, you will have something called sprint review. Okay, I forgot to write here time. Sprint grooming can be 1 to max to 2 hours only. You cannot exceed more than 2 hours. These are all definitions given by the Agile Foundations only, which practically we follow in the industry. So sprint grooming only 1 to 2 hours max, not more than 2. And sprint review. And this is not mandatory. So this is an optional one only. So this is a discretionary power of your team lead, or you can say the person who manages your entire iteration or your sprint. That person is classified as Scrum Master. Clear? Scrum Master. Usually we call that as team lead only, but technical name according to the Agile is Scrum Master. Got it now? The next. So in that sprint review, it is a discretionary power of the team lead or scrum master to take up the review or 5th or 6th day and understand how much work is completed and how much is pending. So this is only to assess what we have, or we can say how much is finished and how much is pending. And keep in mind, generally this meeting will happen if he sees that things are not happening. So that's the reason it is called optional. And keep in mind, again, next point is generally it happens on 5th and 6th day, but the same scrum master would have the power to take this meeting on any given day within the sprint. He can take on 8th also, he can take on 9th also, he can take on 3rd also. But most observation is half of the sprint finished. You want to analyze how much work is finished and how much is pending. So that happens on 5th and 6th day. And there is something called sprint. What is that? Sprint demo, which happens on 9th or 10th day. Which happens on 9th day or the last day. And this is an again optional one only. It's not mandatory, but most companies will follow mandatory stuff. So this is also an optional stuff. But most companies, let's take it as mandatory only because most follow it. So it's a mandatory one. So what happens here is the team has to present. Let's say you got a ticket to develop, create a pipeline. Imagine you guys got a ticket to create a new pipeline. So on the demo date, what happens is you have to present how you created the pipeline. Quick, it's a PPT presentation only, guys. You just have to quickly go through the PPT presentation and discuss about how the pipeline was created. And it is something like live presentation. You have to show them proof that pipeline is working. That is what happens in sprint demo. Okay, whatever the work that you have done, you have to give the presentation, or you can say the live stuff, how it is working. Got it? That is called sprint demo. On the last date, that is on 10th day, it is mandatory component. Okay. And on this mandatory component, we'll discuss something called sprint retrospective. Have you guys heard this? Retrospective? Retrospective. So on this day, we'll discuss about what went good, or you can say what went good in the sprint, everything, what went right, and what went wrong in the sprint. So that's like an experience, guys. Like something like you can say it's a kind of a feedback session there. So we'll try to understand how many, what went good, or what needs to be improved, or what went wrong. So all those things are discussed here. So retrospective, whatever the decision is taken that, okay, this went wrong. So the agenda is not to repeat again. So that's the essence of having retrospective. So whatever went wrong or what we could not do it better, and that feedback is taken, and it is a responsibility of the Scrum Master not to get that repeated. Clear? So, and there is one more thing which happens on every day. Okay. So on every day, you'll have something called Scrum call. People also call this as daily stand-up. Daily stand-up. Scrum call or daily stand-up, guys. This happens on every day. And according to the Agile rules, this call should be finished within 2 hours of your business start. So let's say your shift starts at 10 o'clock, right? I repeat, this is interesting point. So if your shift starts at 10 o'clock or your company starts at 10 o'clock, your entire team logs at 10 o'clock, this meeting should be finished off by 12. If your login is at 4, let's say your entire team logs at 4 p.m., then that should be finished off within 6 p.m. So generally it is ideal. Most of the companies follow the principle of conducting the sprint call within 1 hour of the shift hours. Got it? And this time, how much time it will happen? So it will be like 15 minutes is the max, but some companies can go up to 30 minutes, depends on the team size. So 15 minutes is the max, but some companies are also going with 30. So it's up to their stuff. Got it now? But keep in mind, according to the Agile, they told it should be only 15 minutes. Got it? So that is how the Scrum call. That is called stand-up call. In this meeting, what happens is they will discuss about, right? They will discuss about something like what they have finished yesterday and what they are going to do today and what challenges or impediments they have for the day. Got it? Dealing with the work, whatever work that has been assigned, if you have any challenge, you have to disclose them. And according to the Agile principle, they operate on a rule called a Scrum Master should handle a team size of 8+1 offer. You know what is an 8+1 offer? 8 should be the team members and 1 is nothing but Scrum Master. You got it? So that's the reason it is called 9. So Scrum Master also part of the team. That's the reason 8+1. So team members should be 8 and 1 is that Scrum Master. So total 9. But if you observe in India, what is happening, these are also some kind of gochi, you can say, or some kind of, or you can say some kind of drawback. You'll find a Scrum Master handling 20 people also. You find Scrum Master handling 12, 15, 16, 14, right? So according to the management size, it is telling that Scrum Master should handle only 8+1. Scrum Master is like exactly the role is like a team lead, is like a facilitator who manages your sprint. Because you should have somebody to manage your sprint, guys. Technically, the Scrum Master will be the person who has good knowledge on the technology. Got it? So whatever the project he is working, he will definitely have good knowledge upon the technology, guys. He may not be super technical like a developer, but at least he will have a knowledge on the technology. That is an expected. You got it now, guys? They're not expecting like a Superman or He-Man there, but more like a managing skills to get the work done from the team and also understand the technology involved there. So that is a role of a Scrum Master. He's like more like a facilitator. And there is one more last ceremony is there that is called Scrum Touch Base. Did you heard touch base, guys? Anybody here? What is a touch base? So maybe you heard planning, maybe you heard grooming, maybe you heard demo, or maybe you heard retrospective, or maybe you heard daily call. So these are all things we heard. What about a touch base? Any idea on touch base, guys? This is actually a very silly point. So I'll tell you what is this. So let's say a new guy, a new person joined your team, right? Joined your team. Just an example to make you understand how this works. And definitely he will be in training maybe for let's say 4 or 6 weeks. Do you agree, guys? See, any new company, that's common, guys. If you get a job, don't think that on the day one they will ask you to work. That is incorrect. So don't think that on the, even if you get a DevOps job, also don't expect that on the day work they'll push all the work on your head. No, at least 4 to 6 weeks of project training is given. What they do, how they are handling, they'll give enough training. So 4 to 6. So during the trainings, what happens is your Scrum Master will technically every week will have a call with you to understand how far you are doing with your trainings. So you will try to check with you how far you're doing with your trainings and any help is required, a kind like a guidance kind of you. So that's the reason it is called touch base. And once the training is finished for that candidate, they will not conduct a touch base with him. I hope you understood this point now. So touch base is not for experienced people. So once you, let's say you crossed your training period and you joined your team as a full-time employee, or you can say you're handling a lot of work, then touch base is not required for you. So touch base is only for the people who join newly in the team and they are undergoing some trainings. And while in the trainings, every week, it's a responsibility of a team lead or your scrum master or your manager to get in touch with you and understand how far you are able to understand your project. And if you require any help or guidance, you have to be open and talk to them. You got it? So once they feel that you are good to go, then they will stop conducting the touch base to you. So please keep in mind, more touch bases with you are dangerous for you. More than 4 to 6 weeks, still they are conducting touch base means you need to understand that you are not yet trained. You understood now, guys, principle what I'm talking? Even for 2 or 3 weeks, still you're in touch base means it's it looks very ugly actually. Okay, so touch base should be finished in 4 to 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, they don't expect you to have touch base. Clear? Okay, any questions here, guys? So Scrum Master will try to ask what activities you done for the day and what activities you have done yesterday and how far the tickets are being closed. Everything is something like is more like work related, guys. Their focus is on work to understand how far the objectives of your items are finished. So let's say you're handling some work and how much you worked completed yesterday, how much you're pending, any help required, sprint or scrum master will help you. Got it? Okay, so I'll stop it here. We're almost touching the 10 o'clock. So any questions from the chat, guys? So tomorrow we'll try to deeply investigate what happens in plan and we'll see the concerns and move on to the DevOps, guys. So DevOps will start tomorrow. I mean, you'll get connections tomorrow. I mean to say points connecting to the DevOps, you'll get tomorrow in tomorrow's class. Any questions from the chat? None. Any new candidate will also give reverse KT what he understood. Yes, that is correct. This is an interesting question, guys. You know what is reverse KT? This is more effective actually. Reverse KT kind of a technique will work a lot. How many of you know what is a reverse KT? Are you not aware? Actually, this is one of the technique to identify the fake candidate. Maybe you're not aware or not, I don't know. But your team leads and your managers will experiment this reverse KT technique on you to identify whether you're genuine or a fake candidate. So in the reverse KT, most of things what happens is your project documents, they will share it to you. They'll wantonly share it to you. They share it to you and they will ask you to go through them. Okay. They'll give time also, guys. Don't think that they'll not give time. They'll give enough time, whatever you ask. Let's say you ask 1 day, 2 days, they'll give it. So 2 days or 3 days. And they'll say that please go through the document. Once the document is over, you guys will sit on call, whatever it is, in a conference room or a call, live call. And he will ask you, or he will ask you to explain the document now. You getting the point? So he will try to ask you what you understood from the document. Can you explain me? So that is reverse KT. So it enforces the candidate to make sure that you are learning the documents, and end of the day, 2 or 3 days, you have to understand well, and in a call or in a conference room, you need to explain to them. And here the benefit is the manager or a team lead can analyze the candidate's ability there. Do you agree, guys? Yes or no? Definitely they will able to analyze the candidate's ability of subject. And second benefit is if he is missing anything. So let's say, so you'll find some people who are very good with understanding reverse KT and they will be able to come up with very good valid points, or they'll understand the stuff there. Whatever is missing, your team lead will help you there. Okay, they will say that, okay, no, not like this. So any corrections that are required in your understanding, they will tell you. You got it now? But entirely if you're wrong, then that becomes easy for them to judge that you don't have capability. So let's say out of 100% stuff, let's say 90% you told correct and 10% your understanding seems to be missing. Then team lead technically will help you. Okay, no, not like this. You have to do like this. Got it now? So that's reverse case technique will always effective. This is a new kind of an approach currently followed. Okay, I'm getting another good question from Sanjay. Let's see. If a Scrum Master is having more than 5 projects, not complete the call within 2 hours, how he can manage? So Sanjay is asking a very good question. Sanjay, a reverse question to you. Have you ever worked in IT company? Or are you a fresher? Yes, good. So that means if a Scrum Master is given more than 1 project, then you should quit that company. That's it. That means company is misusing you. Got it now? That is fact, man. So no Scrum Master is given. So generally that's a rule of your agile principles only. A Scrum Master should be assigned only with 1 project. right? 1 or 2, that's it. So most I see in some companies they'd go with 2, but I never heard about Scrum Master giving 5 projects. So maybe let's say 2 projects, first hour, 1 hour in one sprint call, and in the second hour, another sprint call. That's it. Another project, 2 calls will be finished. Clear? So that's a thing. Yeah. So I'm getting a question from. So another question. So let's say, hi sir, I'm an automation engineer having 3 years of experience. This code beneficial if yes, yeah. Now, okay, so 3 years with Java and man, 3 years into 3, I'm guessing you should get around 12 to 14 lakh package. Okay, if you attach the DevOps, you should get around 14, 12 to 14 between, minimum 12 and you should get 14. So if you would have told that 5 years experience, then you should get around 20. So the drastic difference will be there, but that's fine. So whatever current package you have, at least you will drag 14. But thereafter, once you gain the experience, what you can say in DevOps, going forward, you'll have very good packages. Correct? Okay. So any work that is not finished will be moved to the next sprint. That is considered as product backlog item. Fine, guys. So I'll stop it here for the day. So we are getting late. So if any questions that we are missing, right? So we'll take up tomorrow. So again, we have class tomorrow. Any questions that we are left out are unanswered. So we are left out tomorrow, guys. Not to be worried. Clear? So let's catch up tomorrow, guys. Chalo. See you. Bye-bye.